a productive review.
Good morning, Dopey, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Dopey, our deep yet often shallow dive into the daily reflections. As I said yesterday, I'm going away this week, and I went to my meeting this morning, and who did I see but my friend Evan, and he was amenable to doing a few daily reflections in lieu of spiritual growth at the meeting.
I think this is spiritual growth too,
Well,
in a way.
In a non-spiritual move, why don't you tell the Dopey Nation what you were just telling me?
I think it was productive. So I was telling Dave, so I go to this meal prep place. I'm not going to say the name. But
what is a meal prep place?
Basically, it's just they have meals that they cook that you could buy packaged for the week.
It's like a store.
Yeah, that you just pop in the microwave. It's blown up over the last probably 5 to 10 years.
I think they should open a seafood restaurant out here called Blue Oyster Cult. Anyway,
good.
Back to your story.
Okay. All right. So I've been going there for a long time. It's actually, I know the kid who owns the place.
Yes.
His brother is a friend of a friend. Anyway, so food's great. I've tried all the meal prep places. I've tried the other places, and the quality of these meals is 100% the best.
So you don't want to say the name of the place?
No, I'm not going to say the name of the place.
Because you're worried about a little iron and tread style retribution situation?
Exactly. I'm not trying to fly like that, you know? So, anyway.
Fucking iron and tread, man.
I told you I could facilitate, you know?
I want you to do it.
You gotta give me the okay, you know?
Yeah.
So this place, I've been going there for a while. Love the food, but, you know, they have the nutritional facts on the back, you know?
Yes.
It's like a certain amount of calories, this and that. But sometimes I'll get fucking 2 pieces of broccoli, and sometimes I'll get 15. So how the fuck is the nutritional value the same? So I said, I wrote a review on fucking Google. I said, I love the food, you know, I would highly recommend this place. This is the best quality meal prep.
What did you call yourself in the review?
I used my name.
Okay, so he's gonna know.
Yeah,
All right.
I used my name. I didn't cop out.
Did you tell them in person?
No.
Why didn't you just tell them?
Because the owners are never there. It's all these young girls when I go in who are just they're workers, you know. I never see them anymore because they blew up.
Right.
You know, there's they have 8 storefronts now.
Right.
So I was like, listen, I love the quality of the food, you know, I would recommend this place 10 out of 10, but my only gripe is that
there's no consistency with your broccoli portioning.
So how can I say that the nutritional facts are accurate?
Right.
And they wrote back very professionally. They were like, thanks for the review, Evan. We'll definitely look into this discrepancy. So will they? I don't know.
Did you ever see Casino?
No.
In Casino, Robert De Niro is running a casino, and he's very upset that some blueberry muffins have a lot of blueberries and other blueberry muffins have less. So he goes down, he's like, you see this fucking muffin and you see this muffin? I want 10 blueberries in every fucking muffin.
It should be fucking consistent, dude.
I know, but once you streamline shit like that, quality tends to dip.
And I even said that in the review. I said, when you're making so many meals, I understand it could be hard to keep the consistency, but I just don't understand how one time could be it's so far off. Literally 2 pieces of broccoli. What the fuck am I gonna do with 2 pieces of broccoli? You know,
eat them resentfully.
Well, that's what I've been doing. And
so here's the question: what is the spiritual axiom of your weird review story, Evan? And have you left a review on Dopey? No.
That's because I'm on the show. I leave a review every time I'm on.
You should leave a review, and my dad will read it on the show.
Where? Leave a review where?
iTunes,
on Google?
iTunes?
I don't use iTunes.
Leave iTunes reviews. Also, DopeyCon is coming up. Also,
couple weeks.
Looks like 6 weeks away, and it looks like a big Instagram memer from Scotland. Brutal recovery. Attractive young lass from Scotland is going to be at DopeyCon.
Are you going to be able to get me last minute tickets when I figure out what my schedule is, or what?
Well, you should get tickets like everybody else. Get tickets.
Come on, what?
Evan, stop it. What's the spiritual axiom of your weird review
I think
story?
it's no one's perfect, and I'm not perfect, so, I have to accept that mistakes can be made. But I'm dishing out good fucking money for that shit.
There's another spiritual axiom, which is
What is the hidden spiritual axiom that you talk about?
Consistency is the most important thing in the universe. Be consistent with your broccoli. Be consistent with your blueberries. Be consistent with your Good Morning Dopey.
That is so true. I was talking to my cousin last night, And I'm telling him because he's like freshly sober, and he's like, oh, I had a really good day. And I said to him, I said, listen, I said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do something, you know. I gave him the whole spiel because he's new, so he hasn't heard a lot of the sayings. So when he hears them, he's like, oh.
So what did you give him?
I gave him that you can't stay sober, you can't stay full off last night's dinner. So, you know, I gave him that whole spiel. So you got to do something for your recovery every day. You can't stay sober off of what you did for your recovery yesterday.
I'm often trying to stay clean from yesterday's shower. Anyway, what's the daily reflection? What do we got?
All right. Let's see. What do we got here? What day are we on? We're on the 22nd, right? That's today? August 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
Indubitably.
All right. Seeking emotional stability. I need some of that.
Are you feeling like you're not emotionally stable?
No, I mean, for the most part, I feel like I'm emotionally stable. I just feel like a lot of times I drift into completely irrational, made-up fears in my head.
Yeah, you don't call me nearly enough. You should call me more. You never call me at all. And number one. Number two.
Phone works both ways.
That's true. Number two, it's because you're not working. That you have time for weird.
I mean, I'm working 2 days a week, but yes, I think you're right.
2 days.
I'm basically semi-retired.
Give me a break.
I'm semi-retired right now. All right, seeking emotional stability, August 22nd.
Yes.
When we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be God himself.
Okay.
We found that dependence upon his perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that it would work where nothing else would. If we really depended upon God, we couldn't very well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge to wholly to rely on human protection and care.
Yes.
12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 116.
Yes.
All my life I depended on people for my emotional needs and security, but today I cannot live that way anymore. By the grace of God, I have admitted my powerlessness over people, places, and things. I had been a real people addict. Wherever I went, there had to be someone who would pay some kind of attention to me.
Yes.
It was the kind of attitude that could only get worse.
Yes.
Because the more I depended on others and demanded attention, the less I received.
Yes.
I've given up believing that any human power can relieve me of that empty feeling. Although I remain a fragile human being who needs to work AA steps to keep this particular principle before my personality, it is only a loving God who can give me inner peace and emotional stability. Ooh.
That's rough. I'm going to say this.
You believe that? With your heart, fully believe it.
It's all about your interpretation of the language. Okay, it's like, again, I've said this an infinite number of times, but I feel like it's needed to be said that my God is better than your God. No, that my God isn't like a guy in the clouds with a fucking robe and a staff. It's everything. And what this tells me is that when I try to rely on myself to feel good, I fail. But when I give up, when I chill, when I say when I like have the fear story in my head and I give up and I throw it away, I can feel better. And that is because things go as they will, which can be ascribed to God. You know, it's not I understand how to connect that. I have to take the shadow off my face because it's like,
I understand.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, I know.
It's TV.
You got to show the tan.
Yeah, I got it. Come on. But my point is, if you give up, if you surrender, if you take your hands off the wheel, if you say, I can't do it, something else does, and we can call that something else God. You know, they take it a step further.
It doesn't matter what the vernacular is, you're saying, you know, once you're able to kind of just put your hands up, it doesn't matter what takes it over, whatever you may think it is, it just happens to work out how it should, you know?
And you know me, though. It's like I am 1 minute on and 1 minute off and 1 minute on and 1 minute off. I can't even ride a bike holding my hands up. You know? Can you do that?
I used to be able to for like 5 seconds.
See all these kids? I can't do that.
They're doing like fucking wheelies with no hands. I know, it's crazy.
But I'm not the most coordinated person.
Me either. Any board sports or anything, forget it. How did we go off on this tangent?
My point is, do you see a connection between what I'm saying and what the reading is?
100% I see what you said, but you know, I find the concept hard for me to, like, it's a nice sentiment for me. It's like, oh, you're just like, oh, and then something happens, and fear pops up, and I could even tell myself, like, oh, just let go. And, like, the fear, like, I'm still ruminating on the fear, and I'm still just, like, perseverating on this one thought.
It's a good word, perseverating.
Yeah, you like it, right?
I don't think I've ever heard that word
It's
before.
a good word. I like that word. And I'm just, like, keep running it over, and I'm like, oh, but just let it go. It'll work out over, and I'll pray, and the fear is still there, and like maybe like I'm just like I struggle to let go sometimes.
That's why I think one of the greatest tools is busyness.
Oh, 100%.
Misdirection.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to think about it, and then the proof is also in the pudding. Once you're not thinking about it and you feel better, you say, oh my God, this actually, it worked. I accomplished what I wanted to through this thing. And this is going to sound fucked up what I'm about to say, so don't take this personally.
Okay.
You have fucking 2 years. I have 7 years.
Yeah. Well, I heard someone share it here Friday. It was like, oh, the first 2 years, I had, like on and off periods of where I was like good, and then I was crazy again. And that gave me some hope, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I have a little under 2.5 years, so I was like, all right, like I'm growing, like I'm still not there yet. And are we ever really there yet?
No, I have 7 years and I'm totally in self-centered fear all the time.
So I mean, I think it's a work in progress, but I think relying on people and like having an addiction to people was like my first true addiction, you know what I'm saying?
I know, but that's pretty heavy-handed writing in itself, because it's like the world is full of people are great, enjoy people. Like it's like enjoy people, and it's like
but you can't control people. That's or what happens or their actions. That's the big the big hit right there.
I got into a little fight with my family last night. Okay, dinner party, dog, kids, Linda's parents, a lot of things, and I don't know how you feel about the long goodbye. The goodbye that starts, and then 45 minutes, it's like she's not leaving, and the dog's barking, and the kids are bugging out.
You just want to fucking be home or get the people out of your house.
I also had the deepest allergy attack I think I've ever had last night. And
that wasn't the excuse to get out of there?
No, there was a million excuses. The dog was screaming, Susan was passing out.
You had family over?
No, we were there.
Okay.
And at the end, I raised my voice to leave.
Oh, in front of the whole family, huh?
And Susan cried.
Oh.
And then I felt very defensive about my actions. But when I got by myself, I realized that I needed to surrender and give up, and it worked out. And I think that is a microcosm for all of this shit. Mm-hmm. And it's like you hold on to pride and to ego and to self-esteem and to feeling okay until finally you realize you have, if you can let go, it can be okay. Because if you can let go, you're in equanimity. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Good word.
It's like that was Chris's favorite word. It was like, and it's interesting. It turns out Evan's sponsor's name is Chris, and his 2 sponsees' names are Chris. It's interesting. Anyway, let go, and then if you don't want to say let God, it's implied anyway.
I like it. I think we should end that right there.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation. Thank you, Evan. And fucking toodles for Chris.
Peace.